Uh, yeah, and thank you for all of the audience here. Today we would like to start the ball rolling along by our first speakers. It will be talking about how to make the cover letters to get these Erasmus Mundus programs, and these cover letters materials will be spoken by Miss Nisa. She is an ecotoxicology from the ECT programs, and yeah, currently like she is living in Spain. Okay, the floor is yours, Miss Nisa. Hello, Miss Nisa, can you hear us?
Okay,
Yes.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like low. Maybe you can higher up the volume.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I have double. Oh,
Okay, so our first speaker is Syarifatun Nisa. She is as a Erasmus Masters in the Environmental Contaminant Toxicology. So these programs is a collaboration from the different consortiums. She took two different universities. The first one in the UPVHU, Spain, and the second semesters in the Liège University, Belgium. And yeah, these programs also kind of similar with my my previous Erasmus Mundus programs, the MER one. So in our programs, most of the Erasmus Mundus have the similar kind of format of cover letters. That's why, like, today, Ms. Nisa can explain more about what kind of formats that can be used for this Erasmus Mundus apply in the Erasmus Mundus program.
okay. This is CV, right? Not cover letter.
Sorry, we cannot see your screen.
Okay. This is about CV, right? Cover letter
yeah.
or CV?
Yeah, the CV one. Yeah.
Curriculum vitae, no?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't prepare for cover letter. Okay. Wait. Can you see my screen?
We haven't seen it clearly, so yeah.
Okay. My screen. I already. I'm already in the mode of your screen sharing. Can you see my screen?
No, we cannot see it. Maybe you can take it down first and then sharing it again.
I will stop sharing.
Yeah. Maybe if you need help, you can send it to me and I can share.
Oh, okay. Because I share it from.
I'll try to download your CV. Maybe I can help with it.
Oh, can
yeah.
do it like
I can download it, so maybe I can share my screen, and you can just only.
Or can we do it like online, not from downloading, but like online automatically from the link, because sometimes it will be different. Because it's from Canva.
Can you stop your screen sharing and I can use mine?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, maybe I can start now. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Sharifatun Nisa. So, as Yoki said, I'm a master student in Erasmus Mundus program. I'm in the program of environmental contamination and toxicology, and right now I'm in my third semester in Universidad del País Vasco, Spain. Before I start my internship in February, planning to go. I'm going to go to France to Reims University to do my thesis internship. So, like Yogi said, okay. So everyone can hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Okay, because someone said in the chat that my volume is less heard. Okay, so like Yogi already said, I would talk about the Europa CV. So now, okay, we start directly. So why Europa CV? Because at first, this is super simple and easy. So I would like to ask to all of you, does anyone here doesn't know, not know about this Europa CV, or all of you already familiar with Europa CV? Okay, so familiar. Someone said familiar. So, okay, already. So I assume everyone here is familiar with it. Well, yes, Europa CV is a CV format that is widely used in Europe and widely accepted, and sometimes it's required. Like for example, in my scholarship program, it was required to use the CV from Europass format. So beside of that, it's super simple and easy. And despite when you see it, like, oh, it's so widely, it's so neatly made, it's so neatly tailored. It looks like it's complicated, but it's not. We just need to put the best words to describe our CV, and the rest, the Europa CV program will do it for us. So like as I said, it's super simple and easy, and also it's standard CV used in Europe, and it has many beautiful templates. So, like I said before, how to do it? So the first step, you only need to go to the Europass website. To here we can see europa.eu. Europass, and then you will be required to make a profile. You have to sign in, and then after sign up, sorry, after that you put your profile data where, and basically when you make this profile, you already make base of CV. So you put your photo here, like your motto and your background, your work experience, educational background, and etc. And then after that, here there are a lot of choice, including creativity, and Europass is developing their website. They also even have like job suggestion. So they're developing this feature. Like next time they will give job suggestion to us by EURES tailored to our profile. So make the best of your profile here, and maybe later Europass can give us like job suggestion. Also, they have like a find a job here, find a job section. I tried it yesterday. I use ecotoxicology as keyword because I'm in the ecotoxicology field, and they give me many vacancy in the ecotoxicology field from whole Europe. So it's nice. I mean, because we kind of already put our profile here. So to make CV, we just go here to create CV. And then after that, to the next page. So yeah, to the next page. And then after that, it will appear to this page. You can choose this create CV, but there are some options like if you already make, if you already been sometimes in this Europass page and already made some CV here, you can just like resume last CV and also start from your profile. Like I said before, basically when you make profile, you already make the base of the CV. You can start from your profile, or if you already made some CV and save it in your library, you can edit it from your saved file here in the My Library. Also, if you already downloaded a Europa CV, for example, and you need to edit it, you can import Europa CV from your computer. So in this section, I will explain how to make the new CV one from the beginning. So like after that, we come to this page. Like this is how it looks. You have to put your photo and also the language you want, but this is mostly European language. I don't remember if there's a non-European language here, but mostly European language, but English is also here, so don't worry. And this is like your personal information. And then after that, please, the next page. Okay. And this is like the below part. This is basically just your personal information like date of birth and also nationality, email address, phone number, social media, and address. And then you can save it and then go to the next. And after that, like here, you can see your personal information already ready. You can add new section. Like here, they have many sections to add. For the first, it's works experience, for example. And then, like if you already put your works experience, and then you can add the educational training, language skill, digital skill, and etc. There are a lot of choice what to put here. For me, I didn't put all of them, but like the important thing like language skill, digital skill, publication, maybe you can put organization skill and honor and awards, and etc. Next. Here, for example, the education and training, like title of qualification awarded, like you are Master of Science or Bachelor of Science, and organization providing education and training, like where you did your title, the name of your school and their address, their website, and also the date you start to enroll in your study, also the expected graduation date. Then next, after you finish your education section, for example, and then you want to add to the X section like language, etc. If you were finished, so the step was just like that. And then after you finish, you can just select template like this. They already provide this beautiful template for you, and then select your color and then the size of the phone, and then you can select next. And finally, like you just need to name your file, and then you can download it to PDF and save in My Europass library, and also publish on EURES. And this EURES, like I told you before, it's basically like the marketplace of job in the Europe. So if you want someone, if you want the job poster to find you through this, you can just put your CV here. So this kind of nice feature in the Europass. Right, next. So this is how it looks like for my CV, for example. I only put the first page here. This is how it would look like if you just put your data and works experience, for example, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. So what makes, we already talked about how to make Europa CV in a brief, how to make it to Europa's CV page, which is so easy. And what makes a CV interesting? Now, this is a kind of tricky part, because this actually the important part on your input. And what makes a CV interesting? First, CV is like a portfolio of yourself. Imagine that you want to sell a thing. You imagine you are a marketer, a brand manager, or a salesman of a product. Do you want your product to be marketed in a simple portfolio that is not interesting, that is not just that is plain, something like that? I'm sure you don't want, you want your product to be marketed in the interesting portfolio, like which has the emphasis on the strength of the product and also have the nice appearance of the portfolio that can attract the buyer, something like that, no? So basically, CV is like how you sell yourself. You are the salesman of yourself in this CV, and CV is just the portfolio of your your branding. So emphasize on your strength. Like for example, in the Yoshi, can you go again to
Which page?
Which page? Previous previous again.
Sorry.
Yeah, here. So here in the about me, you should put your strength, and also this strength should be like designed to the job or the purpose of your CV. Like for example, if you plan to apply for the scholarship, you should put the strength that related to your study here. Like for example, okay, go back again to the last one. Sorry. Yeah. So for example, for me, because my purpose when I made this CV was to look for master internship, also planning to do a PhD for the next year. For example, I emphasize on I want to become a researcher, like aspiring researcher on the ecotoxicological field, bioremediation, and risk communication. And I also emphasize that I am broadly experienced in water purification system, for example, because that's what I want to do in my thesis, also for my PhD. And then I also put Erasmus Mundus Scholarship Awardee, for example, because that's for being for getting a master thesis internship, also for getting PhD scholarship, for example. I want to show that previously I already win this award that also related to the education, and it's internationally highly competitive, something like that. And also you should put the highlight the achievement and skills acquired in relevant experience. So for example, can you go to my CV? Before the, yeah, that one. So, no, after the last one. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't know before. Before? Yes. Yeah, before this. Okay, this one, for example. So for example, I put my work experience here, where I became research intern student in the different analytical different department. Like at the first, I did it. The last one I did it in the analytical chemistry. I highlight here that I undertaking internship which employ the LCMS techniques. Also, like I'm undertaking the identification of PFAS in human plasma, which also use the LCMS techniques, and that I have been carrying out several duties such as preparing cartridge conditioning, blah blah blah, that's related to LCMS techniques. Where in my first internship, I highlighted that I did a technique related to in vitro technology, in vitro toxicological testing, which in this internship I developed skill in histology and microscopy, and also I carry out toxicity tests using in vivo method, using marine copepod, something like that. So like I highlight what I learned and what I achieved in this internship. So when I applied for a thesis that need this experience, for example, like they need someone that experienced in LCMS technique, for example, they will see that my CV is suitable for that. And for master thesis internship that look for someone that is familiar with the cell biology, for example, for the in vitro technique, I can also apply for that because I have done internship on that. So you just need to highlight your relevant skill that is required for the job that you apply. Since ecotoxicology is like a combination of different things in the analytical chemistry and also cell biology, then I highlight my skills in both fields. So when I applied for field that may need both, I can apply for that. So that's for example. Also, like my previous work experience, although it's more into the product management, but it's related to the laboratory equipment, for example. I highlight that in that job, I was also involving in giving solution to the customer, which consists of the researcher and QA QC lab manager, how to choose correct lab equipment in the biology and chemistry lab, for example, based on their workflow. So I want to highlight that in that job, I was also trained to familiarize myself with the lab workflow. So for my thesis internship and my PhD that my PhD application that really that familiar with the lab work, that's something that is important, something that really needs to be highlighted. Okay, next again.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Ms. Nisa has already explained about how to make the CV and how to develop on it. And it might be also useful, not only we emphasize something that we have already as our profound in what we have been done here, but this kind of format of CV, it's not only can be used for the PhD or trying to get a thesis, but it can also be used to get into these master programs. Can you maybe a little bit give your experience, your story before, like when you apply for your master degree in the ECT?
Okay.
Is it also the similar CV one, or what kind of different with the last CV that you made it, this
Okay.
one?
Yeah, actually I have not finished this.
Oh, you haven't, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So you
We
want
can
to
go.
next?
Yeah, go. Okay, before. I'm sorry
Yeah.
because I didn't share it myself.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yeah, so before yeah, that's that's one. No. The last
This one,
no the last three.
this one.
Yes, this one. So sorry. So yeah, like I already explained before that you have to highlight achievement and skills acquired in relevant experience. Even if when you want to apply for the master degree as itself, you can highlight your achievement in your bachelor, and also maybe if you already work in your work experience that is related to the master degree that you want to apply. Like for example, for me, I was also my last experience before I start my master degree was my job, which actually not really about a psychological thing, but then like I said before, I highlighted that in my job I was familiarized myself with the lab workflow, and I was interesting a lot with people from research groups and from the labs, from the chemical and biological lab. So I showed to them that I also have the networking of the people that is related to the field that I want to apply for. So yeah, networking is important to show in your CV. Like you have to show that in your experience you meet you meet different people that is relevant to the field that you want to apply. Also, like I said before, you also maybe should put you should highlight your relevance. So sometimes you need to adapt your CV, like you should edit it to adapt it to the field that you want to apply. Like for example, when I applied for a master scholarship, I applied for different programs, and if those two programs are a bit quite different, I edited a bit to make it more relevant to the master scholarship that I wanted to apply. Like when I applied for the program that is more into engineering, I highlight my my experience that is more into the engineering part. Like with this job, I was responsible to deliver the techniques and the basic knowledge of this water purification system, for example. But when I applied for something that is related more into the science and lab, I highlighted more into that in this job, I have to familiarize myself with the lab workflow. So something like that. You have to tailor your CV based on the thing that you want to apply. Either it's master degree or PhD or internship or maybe job later.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
it's really nice. Yeah. So basically, like this CV from the Europass can be also used for all of occasion. Like if we want to apply for PhD, this kind of format it can be used, and also if we want to apply the masters, it also available as well, right?
Yeah. Sure. So the next, this is almost. We're almost done. So this is maybe like a simple thing, but also maybe can be important. So before I knew about the Europa CV, like the CV in what CV look like in my mind usually just like biodata, and then with the photo that is like ID photo where you cannot show your smile and looks like you were rigid and too formal person, something like that. So, but I think that trend of using ID photo, which is too formal, is already altered by the new trend that you should show yourself that you are still dynamic and you are open to the networking. And you are like not too formal, but it's still casual and semi-formal. So that's why if you saw in the recent LinkedIn profile maybe and also in the CV that young professional use, usually like they put the photo which like semi casual. So like for example here in my photo I saw my photo which smile which show my teeth. So I saw that I want to brand myself here, to showcase myself that I'm open and adaptive, and that I also open to the network and to the new experience, something like that. So yeah, nice and casual photo can be helpful. So yeah, I think that's all. I mean, not too much. I want to make it simple. So yeah, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Maybe I explain it not too clearly. So yeah, any question?
Yeah. For everyone who want to ask more and give some questions, you can also give into the chat, or maybe you can also ask Charlie through here.
Yes.
There is Stephen Setiawan.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, Kak. Okay, good evening, Kak Nisa. Thank you for the presentation. Maybe I want to ask maybe two questions or three questions if the time is possible. The first question is about what is the more important if in your opinion, Kak, between the CV itself or the portfolio that can prove our relevant research or work experience? Because in my program, so I'm applying for Circle International Masters on Circular Economy program. The deadline is 2 days again. So I'm considering whether it is more important to provide my certificates, portfolios that provide that proof that I am working in here, I was working in this project or that project, or I just put it in the CV. Because in my personal opinion, the disadvantage of Europa CV, if I compare to like other academic CV, for example, Harvard style, is Europa CV is can only be edited on the website, so we cannot like adjust the space. We can see in your CV there is a big space in the left, so we cannot edit that and we cannot do anything. So I'm considering actually not to use that CV because in my consortium it is not mandatory, but it is only recommended. Yeah, maybe that's the first question. Okay, thank you.
Okay, the first question first.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to ask that question first.
Okay, okay. So I'm a bit confused. What do you mean by which one is better, CV or portfolio?
Yeah, because I believe that the disadvantage of Europa CV that we cannot edit the remaining space. Like we have limited space. If the CV means to be 1 to 2 pages, we cannot add as much experience and as much explanation as if we use another CV template. For example, Harvard CV. If you have ever saw Harvard CV template, yeah.
So you mean like which one is better, Europa CV or other format CV, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. So well, actually for me okay, I will answer this first. For me, Europa CV is nice because it's simple. Like you said, it may like wasting the page because we waste so much space in the left and right. But it is in the other hand, it's also like we don't need to really be busy about that. Like you just need the Europass do it. But in terms of you cannot put as much as you can, from what I experienced, I put quite a lot information already there, and it still can manage to adapt. It can still hold my words, for example. But also you can you have to keep in mind that a CV is the concise, but is more into the audience target is better. So yeah, you may want to put a lot of experience, but like in each experience, as long as your word is not that much, I don't think it's a problem. You can add more experience as you wish. In Europa CV, it's not a problem. So, but already you already tried to put a lot of that, but it's not.
Maybe I want to go to the second question. Just a simple question. So, actually, in my consortium, the Circle consortium does not require any limitation on the page number of the CV, but yeah, considering they will receive like hundreds of application, how many pages of CV is recommended from your experience or maybe from other awardee experience? Thank you.
So usually like from my experience, they just want to have 2 pages of CV. But like for myself, even I cannot use 2 because I have many experience that I need to put, and also like for the language skill. Yeah, maybe I didn't explain a bit deeper here, like the one of the feature, one of the benefit as well for this Europa CV, you can put the language skill as much as you want with the assessment based on the CEFR, which is the common what is CEFR is common, sorry, it's basically like the assessment used by the European Union. It's like the A1, B1, B2, and when you need to assess this, like for your listening skill, your reading skill per language, they have the guideline for that. So you don't need like to wonder yourself in which level I am if you don't have the certificate. They have guideline like which is A1, which is A2. So you can just follow that guideline. So that's why, for example, in my case, for language skill itself, already half of the page, because like I saw some language that I can speak to, but yeah, that's not really limited to, but usually they ask for 2 page. But for example, if you have many work experience, or maybe you have many organization experience and you have some language skill, I think it doesn't matter. The matter is like in each section, you should, for example, in the work experience section or the educational section or whatever experience section you have, it is important to keep in mind that you should highlight and to be concise, so you make sure that it's right to the target.
Okay, thank you Kak for the explanation.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the third, I think you say that you have 3
No, my question has all been answered. Thank you. Your explanation is
Thank
clear.
you, Stephen, for your question. And I think there is Olga. She also asks about how we can attach in our CV, but I think you have already answered it in your second question. Your second questions. Yeah. So like apparently in the benefit using this CV format from the Europass, we can also attach every link into the CV itself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Miss Nisa, for your time and also helping us today for sharing about how we make it Europa City. So yeah, and thank you for having us in here, and I hope lucky for your next step.
Yeah, sorry for the problem in the technical problem in the first. Also, maybe I was a bit late. I hope it's clear what I explained. If maybe someone have question, you can reach Yochi, maybe to ask me as well.
Yeah, or maybe you can also send your email or your IG, so everyone who also interested to go and know further about your programs, they can reach you, or maybe reach in our mentorship program. So in here we also give an access to ask through
Okay. Okay, this is my email if you want to ask more about this. If you also, as Yochi explained, if you are interested in my program, for example, for the biologists and also the chemists, also the environmental scientist and environmental engineer, if you want to go to the ecotoxicological field, you can also reach me. The deadline for the ecotoxicology, the ECT Plus also like still in February. So if you want to apply for it, you can also reach me.
It's a nice program. Your program is so awesome. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Nisa, for your time, and we will go to the next speakers. So everyone here, I will stop sharing. So so our next speaker will be Mr. Haikal. He will explain more about how to make a good motivation letter. So Muhammad Haikal, are you here? Hello?
He is here.
I think we...
So maybe we can introduce first who is Haikal.
Haikal, maybe. So Haikal, you are also awarded from the similar Erasmus program as Miss Atifa, right? Maybe you can introduce yourself more.
Am I Tifa?
Okay, then it's not polite. I will introduce him. So,
Oh, joking.
okay. So Haikal is my colleague in my cohort from Play Education, Toys, and Languages, if you know. So Haikal was also graduated from English Language Teaching Department from Muhammadiyah University, right? Universitas Muhammadiyah Negeri Jogja, if I'm not mistaken. And then, so we were in the same program. Our mobility were Universidad de Córdoba, Spain, and then Instituto Politécnico de Lisboa, Portugal, and then Turkey. And then we just graduated. So today, Haikal will be delivering about motivation letter. So he is an expert in here because I know that he's like checking a lot of motivation letters before, so that's why I invited him to talk about this and share to you. And you have any questions, you can just ask to chat box, or you can just talk with him later after the session. Okay, Haikal, time is yours.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to correct it. I'm not the expert of checking motivation letter. I think it's just because the perk of being too active in your, I don't know, your Instagram and put some tag about your program, so everyone reach me through, my Instagram. So, okay. So first of all, I will introduce myself again. My name is Muhammad Haikal. You may address me as Haikal. And yes, a week ago, I was asked by my dear colleague Ativa that is if I have some time to, I don't know, like share about my experience of writing a motivation letter. So first thing first, I would emphasize that this is not exactly how you should write a motivation letter. Why? Because it's just a matter of because I think motivation letter is very personal. So what I can share to you is about my experience of how I wrote my motivation letter. So actually, this is not like a rigid, I don't know, like tips of how you write your motivation letter, but I just want to share about my own experience when I applied for the program. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so what is motivation letter? Well, this is too cliche, but I think it's really okay for me to introduce, at least from my perspective. Motivation letter is actually documents that telling about your educational background, your professional skills, and the reasons why you want to apply for a course of study, a scholarship, or volunteer job. And I'm not sure about the context of Indonesian I don't know, university when you want to apply for master's degree or doctoral degree, whether you are required to have this motivation letter. But from my experience is that it is not only used when you want to apply for a scholarship. So motivation letter is also very useful when you want to apply for a course of study. Maybe it's not common in Indonesia, but it's very common in US or maybe in Europe. So yeah, that's a motivation letter. But here I want to just focus on the scholarship perspective. Next. And often in some circumstances, a motivation letter is also addresses statement of purpose, letter of purpose, or motivational letter. So you don't have to, I don't know, like be confused about the name of the term. So basically it's just the same. And this letter usually accompanies your application and another supporting documents such as your transcript of your grades, including your CV or your resume. I will say that a motivation letter it's very important because the actual purpose of writing motivation letter is to convince the scholarship committee if you are really interested or even worthy that you can be accepted in the scholarship program that you apply. And this has a very big role to determine if you will be accepted or not. Why? Because according to my own experience, I am now preparing for my doctoral proposal as well, because I want to apply for my PhD. And normally in some scholarship programs, they will, I don't know, I will say, they will put several points or the percentage to grade your motivation letter. So normally it can be up to 30 to 40%. So let's say from 100%, motivation letter can be, I don't know, maybe 30 to 40% together with your bachelor degree or your bachelor certificate. So it's very important when you want to write a motivation letter to pay attention on this, because it has a big role. At least that's from my own experience. Next. Okay, before I continue to this about what to write in your motivation letter, I will say that the way you expressed your interest toward the scholarship program is persuasively through this motivation letter, because again, you want to convince the scholarship committee that why you are really wanted, why you are really thirsty to be accepted in this scholarship program. So in other words, I will say motivation letter is, you know, how you persuade the committee to accept you. Okay, next. Okay, the first one is about write an outline. Think carefully about writing down all the relevant details about your outlines. So you cannot just have one piece of paper and then think about, okay, I will just write about anything I want. No, you need an outline. For example, in the first paragraph, you can talk about your educational background, for example, and in the second paragraph, you will talk about your professional experiences. So you need to have an outline in order to let you stay on the track and not let you talk about anything that is not actually appropriate or maybe not relevant at all to the scholarship program that you want to apply. So it can contain about your experiences again, your specific future plans, and the main points of this outline is actually what you want to include in your motivation letter. Next. Okay, writing introductions. Writing an outline, writing a motivation letter, I mean, it's just the same as you write an essay. So in these introductions, what I mean by write an introduction is that you need to introduce yourself to the reader, you know, address by the name if possible, but I will say if it's not possible to address them by the name, you can just say, dear sir or madam. I will share about my my own motivation letter after this at the end of the presentations, so you can have at least some backgrounds about what I talk about a motivation letter. And in this introduction part, I will say that you need to capture the committee's attentions and encourage them that they want to really read your motivation letter. So include details about your achievements in this section. What I meant by achievement is not merely about winning a competition, having a trophy. That will be great, but it will be on your CV. But what I meant by achievement is that what you've done so far. So for example, if you've graduated from your bachelor's and then you don't want to have a gap year, so you just, okay, let's just go on to apply for my master's degree, let's say. So you don't really have that professional working experience. So you can write about your achievement during your bachelor's, your bachelor period, for example. So for the last 4 years, what you've done so far. So that's what I meant by achievement. But if you have maybe 2 or 3 years working experience, then that will be perfect. You can combine your professional experiences as well as your educational background. That's what I meant by achievement. And next is about expand your outlines of the motivation letter. Of course, the point is in your outline is that you need to expand it from the motivation letters body. Take a new paragraph of every new topic. So for example, in my motivation letter, 4 or 5 paragraphs, of course, you need to think about new topics in every paragraph. Okay, so it cannot be just one one topic about your professional experience, I think it's going to be very boring. So you can write about anything that you want to write that you think it's very important or necessary for you to write. So again, do not just write about your professional experience for for the whole motivation letter. Okay, so again, your motivation letter is to convince about your values. So use compelling facts to be very persuasive. And not the last but not least is conclude your motivation letter. And what I mean by this is you need to write a conclusion of the motivation letter that you wrote and summarize your goals and positive final impressions. Also, if it's possible, you can say, of course, thank you, and considering about your applications that is being read. And then if it's possible, you can also say that do not hesitate to contact you if they have further questions about you. And then the last is about proofread. Next. Yeah, proofread your motivation letter. So proofread your motivation letter is just to make it concise and professional. Why? Because again, all the details and informations about motivation letter can be different from one scholarship program to the other. So you need to really learn about what you should write in your motivation letter by visiting their websites and see what they want you to write. Normally, it also can contain about the informations of the length of the motivation letter, and including the words. If I think it's, in my case, it's no more than 700 words. So it depends about the requirements of the length and the number of the words. You need to see or learn from the website. If it's not available there about the informations, then you can contact them and ask. Or if it's not, then you can just write the general or the common motivation letter. And correct any spelling and grammatical errors and awkward phrasing. Why? We're not an English native speaker. I'm sure that we always make mistakes. I know that spelling probably is not going to happen because we're using Word and we can use an automatic spelling corrections. But about grammatical errors, sometimes it's very tricky if you don't really pay attention to it. So if you think that you're not really, I don't know, like you don't really pay attention on the grammatical errors, then if you cannot proofread it by yourself, then you can ask your friends or someone that is capable to correct the grammatical errors. And you may need to proofread your motivation letter several times to identify all the problems that you might find. And for example, if you're not sure whether you want to proofread your own motivation letter, you can ask someone's help. For example, from your lecturer that know you well. That's what I did. And then from some of friends or colleagues or someone that they have been accepted in the same scholarship program, and that's what happened to me. Even some I don't know, like some people, if they're not from the same major as me, they also ask me to I don't know, like to see about their motivation letter and provide them some feedbacks. I didn't say that is wrong, that is right. No, I will just say and explain to them that as a reader, this is an interesting motivation letter. Regardless my understanding about their program. So it's very important. And if you're not really confident to ask for someone's help to proofread your motivation letter, give some space, give some times for you to read about your motivation letter. Because, for example, I myself, I spent almost like 2 or 3 months to write my motivation letter. Some people can write fast, but some can write. It's because they're not able to do it like one night, but it's just because they want to read it again and edit. This is right and this is wrong. Oh, I shouldn't include this, or I should include this. So it takes some time. So because I consider motivation letter is very important, so I didn't really, I don't know, like think rush. So it takes some time, And if you want to proofread it by yourself, maybe you can I don't know, like leave it for maybe 4 or 5 days after you wrote your own motivation letter. And while you do that, it allows you to view your motivation letter more objectively. And yeah, that's about what to write in motivation letter. Next. Oh, I'll skip this. The next. Okay, next. Okay, this one. Here's the tips from me. Again, I will say this is not exactly how you should write in your motivation letter, but again, this is just from my own perspective. The first paragraph, you can shortly state why you are interested to apply for the scholarship program. It can be 2 or 3 sentences. Remember, no need too much information because it can be seen from your CV. And this is what mostly everyone does when they send their motivation letter for me to read. And according to my own experiences, they provide too much information that are not necessary to be in your the motivation letter, because it can be seen from your CV. Okay, and next. Okay, so for the second paragraph, the first you can describe about your current activities, occupations, titles, roles, and contribution at work or your internships. Briefly share your experiences, either at your previous jobs or on your college, and it will be very helpful again if the experiences is relevant to your major you choose. Okay, and explain the relationship between the background and the major that you want to apply, and also to emphasize on the quality areas, on the expertise that can increase the chances to obtain the scholarship. And to do this, you need to study carefully everything related to the scholarship offer by visiting the websites. Because when we talk about Erasmus Mundus, normally all the programs from the catalogs, if you see from the internet, they have their own websites. From there, you can learn about the curriculum, you can learn about what they will cover for the next 2 years of the master, and then you can elaborate it more by relating to your own experiences, and then what you will do and what you will learn later in the scholarship program. Okay, and then include strong reasons that the course will be useful. This is for the case of if you take a different major. So it's always okay. It's always, I think, accepted, at least from the social science field, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you take a different major from your previous educational background, you can explain why. Because if you don't really have the background about the program that you want to apply, at least if you have the experiences from your own work, you can also state it. So it doesn't have to be from the exact same major, because that's what happens in my program of PETAL. There are also some students or some of my classmates that they are not from an English teaching major, for example, or language teaching or foreign language or from psychology. Some of them are from a different major. Even from the second batch of my program now, I know that someone is there from fashions field, but they are accepted in PETAL, which is, if we think it's very not relevant, but maybe she has experiences about the program itself. So you can also think about, will the course be really useful for the future, for the work that you are currently doing, if you're not from the same major, for example, and again, related to your experiences. And next, for the third paragraph, describe the reasons why you should take this course. You can raise a current problem that is being discussed, for example, in Indonesia, and of course, related to the field that you're taking, and then probably provide the solutions to these problems that you can do with the intended major. I myself, from my own experience, I come from Papua, okay? And if we talk about the implementations of educations, or we talk about the quality or the inequality of educational system, I think it's too cliche, and everyone agrees that some places from outside Java, they have a different I don't know, human resources in terms of facility, infrastructure, or human resources like the teachers. And this is what I actually describe in my motivation letter, you know, like share about my own situations. Okay. And then the next is about study the course or the curriculum provided by the school department. Again, you can you can visit the website and synchronize with the multiple courses, assignments, or experiences that you've done so far. And at least you have things to complete further letters about your study, and then convince the committee that you will not be constrained while continuing your study. And the third is about do the research of the aforementioned statement. So you can present to substantiate your reasons that you've mentioned earlier. Write down the understanding, the field that you've taken, that you will take, I mean, and including the relationship to life in the future. And in these sections, you must be good at pouring statements to support your the last part, which is about the closing sections or the closing part. The next. Okay, so for the fourth paragraph, you can define your future plan as clearly as possible. So you don't have to be very diplomatic or to be very, I don't know, like for example, that's what happened in Indonesia when we talk about education. I'm from educational field, for example. You want to change the educational systems in Indonesia. Who are you? You're not even a minister of education, you see? So think about something very simple that you can think it can make a change, and very realistic. So again, avoid, you know, a very diplomatic answers, and explain what you will do later after accomplishing the program. So it can be very something unique or very something small, but you know, in a way that the language can can persuade them and make them touch, and then they will say, okay, this is an interesting and unique motivation letter. So I think that's all from me. I don't know if I explained too fast. Thank you. Gracias, obrigado, teşekkürler. It's all thank you. that's only those words that I learned. Trust me.
Nada.
If you have any questions, please.
Well, really interesting, and also your explanation real well, because like I also found out like it's also a little bit tricky when we are trying to modificate our motivation letter, not only when we are trying to get the master program scholarship, but also when I try also several PhD programs. And yeah, maybe for you guys, you want to know more or having another question, you can also drop your question into the chat, or you can also ask directly by raise your hands. Any question?
Okay, sorry, before the question sections. I don't know, maybe it's something very personal that this is just from my own perspective, that I don't really share my motivation letter, but maybe if it's index some, I don't know, some of you, if you want to really see my my own motivation letter, then I don't know like how to contact me. Maybe you can ask, I will send my motivation letter to Ativa, and then maybe if you want to see my motivation letter, then she can share. But I don't know, like I don't really feel like sharing on the screen, so I hope you guys can understand.
That's okay. I never share my motivation letter anyway.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, okay.
Totally okay.
Maybe the first question for Kartika.
Okay, thank you so much, both. Afternoon in Indonesia and good morning in Europe. So the first, I'm sorry, I cannot open my camera. And I want to ask about in our CV, is have educational background, right? And then in motivation to have educational background. So what we can do to deliver our motivation letter as well as not reply in our CV. Thank you.
So maybe Haikal, you can directly answer the question from Kartika.
Okay. Okay, so how you can write or how you can deliver your educational background in your motivation letter that is already on the CV, I think it's more about what your educational background is. For example, if you're taking an English major or maybe from psychology, let's see, just in my case, I'm taking English language teaching. I believe that in every institutions or in every universities, they will have a different focus of what they will learn. So I will not say that I come from what is it, an educational. For example, if I want to state my educational background in English language teaching, then I will not say that I come from what is it, a bachelor of education that focus on language teaching. No, I will just state what something interesting about my what is it, something interesting about my bachelor education. So for example, in my bachelor education, they have a different types of concentrations in the last 4 years. So for example, if you want to focus on entrepreneurships, you want to focus on research, you want to focus on translations, or you want to focus on language teaching or English teacher, for example. So you can define, because when we talk about English language teaching is very general. So you can pick up one area that you can that you think it's your expertise and you can deliver. So that's what I mean by relating from your educational background to the motivation letter. So because if you say I'm from psychology, it's very general, what you've learned and what your expertise is on your psychology major that you take in your bachelor degree. So yeah, that's how I can give you some suggestion.
Okay, thank you so much for your suggestion.
Sure, no worries.
Maybe any question? I think like Arianto Santoro. Arianto Santoro. I just see that you also raised your hand before. Oh, our Stephen Setiawan.
Sorry, Kak. It is not question.
I think it's Arianti. No?
No, I think from Stephen Setiawan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kak Haikal, for the explanation. I just want to ask. So in my circle application program, the International Masters for Circular Economy, I found that there is an explanation in the motivation statement part that state that the motivation statement should include what are your academic reasons for choosing the program, the university for year 1 and the university for year 2. I just want to ask for your opinion, Kak, whether it means that I should explain more about the curriculum, the contents of the curriculum, or I should explain more about the research and the projects that the lecturers in that program have done before. Yeah, thank you.
I'm not sure if I have to pick one of them. I cannot say either if you can write it all if you want, but it's just a matter of how you can prioritize which one do you think it's going to be very very strong in your motivation letter. So you can pick one, and from the 3 that you mentioned earlier, which I don't really remember, but I think pick one that you think you're really good at, or that you are really have more experiences at. So I think that can be the answer. So if you ask me, I have a lot of things in my head that I want to write on motivation letter, but I need to be very realistic. Okay, I cannot write everything I want, because choose something that you're really good at. So, and that you really can relate from your I don't know, from your experiences or from your previous education to your masters that you want to apply for. So I think it's about a matter of prioritizing that you want to focus on. Do not put too much information again.
Okay, thank you, Kak.
Sure.
Maybe, yeah, thank you very much, Haikal, for your explanation. And maybe the others who want to ask more question about it. Yeah, there is an MKH Better.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, that's an abbreviation of my name. Sorry, I can't open my camera as well. There's an obstacle. My question is for Mr. Haikal. In a motivation letter, you mentioned that we have to like say or convince why we want to take the scholarship, for example. But can we mention like the perks of the scholarship? For example, scholarship what they give, they cover like health insurance, and they cover like accommodation, or like all the important and essential things a student needs. Can we mention that this scholarship is like very useful for our priorities, for our personal life? Yeah, so that's my question. Can we mention these things in a motivation letter?
Yeah, okay, I get it. The first one, if you mentions about an insurance, I will say like literally no. What you can mention about the scholarship itself, for example, I don't know about someone's cases or someone's situations in their life. So, for example, if you mentions about the scholarship itself in the motivation letter, maybe you can relate it to, for example, your economic, your financial situations that probably I don't know, like it made you not able to continue your masters by paying by yourself and by using or what is it? Utilizing this opportunity to apply for the scholarship that can give you an opportunity to study, that can be the answers. So you can say what is it, the situations of your family status. Again, motivation letter is very personal. You can a little bit share about your own experience or your own situations, but if you mention too much or you mentions about I don't know, like the benefits about the scholarship in terms of what is that, insurance, or maybe about the settlement allowance, or maybe about the stipend, monthly stipend, I don't think it's a good idea to say it, but to use or to apply or to consider that this is a great opportunity for you to continue your study because of your current situations that are not allow you to study or to continue your master. I think that can be used when you want to mention about the scholarship itself, but not mention about the insurance. Do not mention about the monthly allowance that you will get, like how much you will get. No, literally no. I think I don't know, maybe Yochi and Ativa, you can also share about your opinion. I don't know, but I think it's literally no for me if you mention about the benefits or the perks of the scholarship itself. Yeah.
I think it's a matter of when you apply for a scholarship, you have already know that what will you get in that scholarship, and you get through it, like you deal, okay, I'm agree to get this and I will spare my time to apply for this to get this, for example. This, you keep it in yourself, but I think if you don't feel like, oh, it's not enough to do this, to buy this, or to have, oh, I need an insurance something, and I don't think you need to apply if you don't think it's enough for you to meet your personal needs. And personal motivation letter is a place where you deliver your academic, your professional reasons. If you really want to share something like in the basic of financial, no, I don't think so. I don't think it's the best place to share that. So maybe you can just like that's part you can keep it to your mind, but you can like briefly share, but not too detailed. But again, it's not the best idea to share financial situation about why you want to apply because of the money stem and stem or stuff. That's for my opinion. Ochi, maybe you have something.
Yeah, I also agree with that. And I think, yeah, just sharing about our uniqueness and also our passion, it also help us to get this chance for getting the scholarship. And it did works well on most of all of the awardee. And yeah, I also asked several of my friends. And I think like the best things in the motivation letter is how we connect. I mean, like our CV, it's explained a lot of it in the detail, but for the motivation letter, no need to put all of our achievement on it. Just focus on the story that you want to make them know about yourself, and also be honest on it. And yeah, I don't think like the personal financial stuff, it's can also help them to be persuade to choosing us. But yeah, first, like just show your uniqueness and also what you can do and what your mission is. It also mission and your vision, is it also linear with the program that you apply to? So yeah, I hope that's really can be as a good answer.
You're lucky to have, I mean, from three perspectives. It's not only from me, right? So yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, sure, no worries.
So guys, is there any question again, or if there is no question anymore about these sections, maybe we will finish this mentorship. I would like to say thank you very much for Ms. Haikal for joining and also giving us your experience and also sharing your story about how to make the motivation letter, and also Ms. Nisa, who also explained well about how we make the CV in the Europass. And thanks a lot for all of the audience who also come and join us in this mentoring. So in the future, we also want to be, give another content on how can prepare your scholarship application in the Erasmus programs. And yeah, maybe another.
Maybe we can take a picture before we all say goodbye for today. Maybe we would like to know, like everyone, if you can open a camera, we'll have like, virtual photo session. Thank you for joining today's session, and we would like to share more sessions in the upcoming week or month. We don't know yet, but we're gonna share what we can share. So I will take a picture from here. We only have like 2 slides. So 1, 2, 3. Second one. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the day. And I hope you learned something from today. And stay tuned. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
Nisa, Haikal, and thank you, everyone. Udemy ID.
Bye.
Mantap, Haikal.
Anvi. Robbie is one of my friends.
Oh, okay.
See you soon, bro.
Ada supporter ya?
Yeah. He can speak Spanish very well. Like he's very fluent in Spanish.
Who? Robbie?
Robbie? Yeah.
Oh, bahasa Spanyol?
Yeah. Sí.
No. Gitu.
Okay. See you on the next time, yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Haikal. Thank you.
Sure. So how's life, Tifa?
Oh,
How's Portugal?
ini winter. This is winter. I'm gonna like
Mhm.
maybe remove what I need to remove.
Sure. Yoji, it's good.